Should a council charge rates for an uninhabitable house with no services? That's the question Christchurch homeowner Nikki Ross is asking after she says the council threatened her with legal action and debt collectors if she didn't front up with $2,600 in rates for a property she's not been able to live in. Checkpoint first met Nikki Ross earlier this year after EQC admitted 2 botched attempts at fixing her Woolston home, which had a garden growing through the floorboards. The property finally sold today, and whilst her 8-year battle with EQC might have come to an end, Nikki told our Christchurch video journalist Logan Church she was at her wits' end with the Christchurch City Council.
Today we have sold the property as is, whereas for just less than land value, so it is no longer our responsibility. It is gone. It is done. We are finished.
Today has been 8 years in the making for Nikki Ross. She has finally sold her earthquake-damaged Woolston home as is where is for about $130,000. But calling it a home is a somewhat generous description. Following 2 botched EQC repairs, the property was left gutted, weeds growing through the floor in her lounge.
We had an initial repair in 2013 that was a faulty repair. That was discovered about 6 weeks after we moved back into the property. And then they tried to re-repair it again back in 2016, and it was a completely failed repair. That took them nearly 2 years to admit it was a failed repair, so the house was uninhabitable.
In February this year, EQC admitted to Checkpoint the house should have been rebuilt from the start and offered a settlement. All was well, until Nikki heard the Christchurch City Council wanted $2,600 in rates for this year. That's on top of roughly $7,500 she's already paid over the previous 3 years.
I just felt destroyed, to be honest, Logan. It's been such a battle with them, and this is after advising the council back in 2016 that the house was uninhabitable, was no longer, shouldn't have been classed as a house. This was after telling the council in February that the house had been written off by the insurance company and EQC, that we were still hit with full rates on a completely uninhabitable house with no services.
An empty house with no water, sewage, electricity or rubbish collections for 4 of the last 8 years, but she still charged ever-increasing rates.
They've said that it's not the City Council's problem to issue rates values, so just a collection for it, so that the value of the house is done by QV. So whatever QV comes at is what the council will charge you, and there is no rebate available for anybody who has inhabited their house from the 22nd of February. You had to have it been uninhabitable from the day of the quake.
After trying to explain on the phone and by email that no one lived or could live in the house, she's given up and will pay it. After 8 years, she just wants to move on. But she says the council needs to make drastic changes to its own rules to help out homeowners less financially fortunate than her.
I think the council's dealt with it exceptionally bad. I think their policy along the house has to be uninhabitable from the date of the major earthquake is significantly flawed, because there's been people that were maybe in the house for a year or so living in a severely earthquake-damaged house that then, through no fault of their own, through faulty repairs or bad decisions by the government, EQC, the houses have been uninhabitable. So there's a massive flaw in the system relating to the rates rebates. You know, absolutely, we've always said that we've had to pay rates on the section or to a value of what the house is, but not to a value on an uninhabitable house that's actually been written off since February.
The Christchurch City Council has not yet responded to requests for comments. For Checkpoint, Logan Church.